Okay, most of us are familiar with Mike Tyson's famous quote about everyone having a plan until they get punched in the mouth. But most of us have probably never stopped to think about the fact that getting punched in the mouth can be one of your greatest assets. Kia ora, everyone. It's Nathan Rose here in beautiful Auckland, New Zealand. So I was recently having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and our conversation reminded me of this story from back in my pre-Power Platform days. So years ago, when I was working in sales, the company I worked for was looking to make a big entry into the Australian market. And as a result, we had secured space at one of the premier industry conferences in Australia. My boss had flown into Sydney from Hong Kong. I had flown in from Auckland, and our marketing team in the UK had sent down a big conference booth. So a big professional looking kit that we'd set up in the exhibition hall at this conference. We were all set for this big debut until the morning of the conference, we realize that the hotel has misplaced our conference gear. They can't find it anywhere. All we have is this fold up table and a few brochures that I had brought in my suitcase from Auckland. It looks comically pathetic compared to our competitors who have these really professional looking setups in their booth space. Now, at this point, my boss is completely freaking out because this is not a good day. And he said, look, maybe we just pull the plug on this, go be tourists for the day. And I looked at him and I said, are you joking? Every single person we've been spending a year trying to get a meeting with or get on the phone is in this room right now, today. We've got to make the best of a bad situation. So we did. We sat there at our comically pathetic booth up against our competitors with much more professional, slick looking conference booths. And then something really interesting started to happen. It started with one or two, but eventually we had this steady stream of traffic to our conference booth all day long. Because in a sea of sameness, who's not going to stop at the booth that looks completely different, even if it is comically pathetic? And true to form, it started with good natured ribbing. One of the things I love best about the Aussies is that they're irreverent. And yet, as we chatted with the conference attendees and explained what happened, that irreverence quickly turned to empathy. Because who hasn't had something like this happen to them at some point in their lives? At the end of the day, we left that conference with a stack of leads that we never would have gotten otherwise. So, what can we learn from this situation? Well, firstly, whenever you most need life to cooperate, it's not going to. When you need an easy one, it's not going to happen. So you need to be prepared for that, and you need to be prepared for what you're going to do to get things done no matter what, even when life isn't going to cooperate. Secondly, sometimes situations like this, where everything goes wrong, can actually be your biggest asset. In our case, we stood out in a sea of sameness. Our booth was completely different to everyone else's, which actually drove traffic to it and led to some great conversations and some sales leads. So, even when it all goes wrong, that can be one of your greatest assets. All right, that's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. Go do something awesome today, and I'll talk to you soon.